Thank you, sir.
Mayor, if you do take item 27 up, I'm sorry, 26 up first, you can kick Bruce up while we do.
Oh, okay, we'll do that then, so we can kick him out. No offense. Ah, yeah, vamos a pasar regular.
Oh, regular?
You're gonna stick around or you're gonna abandon us?
I'll stick around.
I'm scared of my safety. Just kidding. I think I already left, huh?
Who?
The media? Or they're still there?
They're still there.
Uh,
They're still there. Their van's still there. Yeah. Where's the food? Nobody tells me.
go in the back.
There's some sandwiches.
And drinks in the fridge.
Hombre, ahorita, ahorita que llegamos, estaban
You know what we're gonna start doing? Whenever they start talking about corruption, I'm gonna say, excuse me, ma'am, you need to stop. If you have a corruption claim, you need to make an appointment with PD to go ahead and sign the national agreement. Porque se les quita esa maña. It is open. On the right side, everything's closed.
Some?
Hey, did you see that, Rob? The police. Sorry,
From which side? Or in general? Oh, on the item?
This is not gonna take too much of your 10-minute time. No. 10 minutes.
That's a long time.
No, I'm kidding.
And go back to ticket. 10:10, we're back in regular session. At this time, can we go ahead and entertain a motion to move item number 26?
Motion made to move item number 26 up on the
Second.
next in the agenda.
Rene Rodriguez,
Hi.
Cesar Nevares,
Yes.
Ralph Duran,
Yes.
Victor Pérez,
Aye.
Iván Colom Villalobos.
Yes. Item number 26, discussion and action regarding the findings of an internal investigation of the Socorro Police Department.
Madam Mayor, if I may, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that the publishable portions of the report be read out loud at the next council meeting to officially be entered into the record.
Council, if you're going to do that, you may also, I would specify it's the main body of the 7-page main body of the report without exhibits.
Okay.
And you may also want to include in the motion, meaning that a completed report will be submitted to public.
All right, so then I'll go ahead and amend my motion to have the report, the completed main body of the report be read into the record at our next council meeting without any addendums or additions or attachments to that report.
Second.
Okay, can I just say one thing?
And that, just so Council be aware, that will, I know we're gonna read it next week, that will make it a public document today, and so it is available as a public, as a
Okay. Chip,
However, just one thing, there should be a correction on that time, the time of the phone call.
yes,
Right.
which is 7:58. We go 5:58.
And
Yep.
so, also include in that my motion, any corrections to the timeline in the report.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Also, Jim, we have investigative power authority. What I would like to know is that in a conversation, because it is going to be public and it's written there, I also want to know, because he stated that she called me. So is there any way,
I lost
Our-
it.
our
He stated it
commissioner.
was he. Not te oí, ¿mande?
because there was a conversation, because it's going to be public and it's there already.
You said he stated, and I didn't.
So when he said on the phone call that I got a call, it's it's either Lorenza or the person who put it.
But you said
Yeah.
he, who was saying?
Oh, Daniel Hernandez.
Got it, okay. To answer your question, council the charter gives you very broad investigative authorities. In theory, you could do it yourselves. In practice, that never happens. You assign it, you delegate it to someone, or even on occasion even instruct staff to engage an outside vendor to do it. But the simple answer to your question is, yes, you can investigate.
Do we have to, instead of doing it here, we can just bring it up in another agenda item for next council?
Yeah, I'd be more.
So it could be more cleaner?
I would be more comfortable if that was a separate item, yes.
Because I do worry that, there's, and I don't, there's a belief that, the four horsemen and stuff, that they usually come out and they get together and they start, doing all of these things.
Yeah, and also keep in mind that she did stand here and held the
Yes,
pictures and
so
held the
we
report.
wanna know who was that person, because we wanna figure out what really went
I
on.
don't understand. Who person?
Yes.
What person?
I'll let you know.
No, let me know now.
I'm going to go and put it on the agenda for
Oh.
next council.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I thought we were.
No,
talking
we're
about
gonna
something right
investigate,
now.
yeah, no,
Okay.
no. So,
Okay, so I made a motion.
do you, yeah, do we, do you have anything to say, Ms. Plata?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of lost.
Right, that's where I was at.
Do you wanna talk about what we discussed, since it's gonna be, or Jim?
But it's not officially,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of like,
You don't have to, you certainly can. I know it's a little weird because we weren't executive, but frankly, if you vote, on this motion alone, this will be public, and, if you sit down and read it for 10 minutes, it'll be up.
But I think that we should just air it out. Are you okay with
Should we
discussing
just
this?
read the report right now?
Yeah, because as soon as we do that, it's public, but I mean, we're gonna do something right now that has to do with our city manager, and I want the public to know. Because there's been a lot of, negativity surrounding the circumstances.
Given the late hour, I mean, if you read it at the next meeting, you'll probably get more ears here to hear it.
That's true.
Okay.
If somebody wanted to describe in, a paragraph, like what the results of the investigation were, you can.
Ms. Rocio, can you give us a
Okay,
summary?
I'll second your motion.
because that's what I have had in my motions for the next council
I'll
meeting.
second your motion.
It's already been seconded.
Rene Rodriguez,
Aye.
Cesar Nevares,
Yes.
Ron Duran,
Yes.
Victor Pérez,
Aye.
Iván Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
There was,
Mr.
Oh, yeah.
Salcido, did you want to say something? Yes. Okay, I'd like to suspend the rules to allow Mr. Salcido to be able to air what he wants to say.
second.
2 minutes.
Thank you so much.
So we have to
Hold
vote.
on.
Aye.
Cesar Nevares,
Yes.
Ron Duran,
Yes.
Victor Pérez,
Aye.
Iván Colom Villalobos.
Yes.
Thank you, and I appreciate, I realize it's late, I won't take very much of your time. I would just like to say a few words on Ms. Rodarte's behalf, on this allegation. I think she reacted in the proper manner. It was her son. I think, as being a parent, I would have done the same thing. She has been wonderful. She's a wonderful person. I think this is the first time that we have a city manager that responds to us, the community, as well as she does, and promptly, I might add. I can call her any day, and she will respond within the hour to any of my questions and give me some guidance as to which direction we need to go. You know, I've been with you guys. I feel like you're part of my family as well. I've been here for, 3 years. And I've got to know everybody. And I realize there's so many rules and regulations and laws and bylaws. And I'm learning as we go. But I would just like to give her some kudos because she has done an excellent job. And I hope you all take that as part of the consideration. I know you already came to a conclusion. But nonetheless, I wanted to bring it out in public that she's a good person. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, presentation by city manager regarding May 2018 monthly report.
We don't want to delete the item? No, no. Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm giving you some highlights of our monthly report for every department for the month of May. Municipal Courts Department collected $79,000. From April 30th through May 2nd, they attended the Cardinal training. They received 377 citations from Socorro PD, 9 citations from Department of Public Safety, and 49 ordinance violations. Our HR department celebrated birthdays and anniversaries on May 25th. Employees of the month were Michelle Gomez. There was no civil service meeting for May. There was 3 separations, which was our Public Works Director, Miguel Rosas, and 1 dispatcher. We had 2 new hires in our dispatch department. Our Parks and Public Works Department had a tire day on May the 19th. They cleaned weeds at Carr Street, Manzana, Cerritos Court, Porvenir, Melinda, Tazy Way, Marissa Street, and Arzate. Repair stop signs at Ephesus, Montreal, Bauman, and North Loop, and Valle Plata and North Loop. Prep Splash Park to open May 25th. We had sandbag preparation for monsoon season, pothole repairs on Cebu and Kigo, and they continue to maintain and mow and groom all city parks and ponding areas. Our police department received 2,102 calls of service in the month of May. We have received 10 applications for chief of police. There were 5 candidates that were selected for the interview process. One of them has accepted employment elsewhere, so we do have 4 candidates that will be interviewing on Monday at our civil service meeting. And we will have a public forum on Tuesday at 5:30 here at Chambers for the community to meet and greet with these 4 candidates. By Thursday, we should place an item on the agenda with a recommendation to hire for our July 5th meeting. The police department continues mandatory training for our officers and keep them in compliance with certification with TCLO requirements. Our city clerk conducted and prepared minutes for 5 meetings, special meeting on May 2nd, regular council meeting May 3rd and 17th, and special meetings for May 19th and the 21st. Received 16 open records requests and responded to 18, prepared 4 publications. Our planning and zoning department collected a total of $31,152, issued 238 permits, 54 registrations, 17 applications, and 45 letters. Recreations department had a community cleanup for the Mission Trail, Saturday, May 19th. May 4th, we had a public art show. Our Senior Citizens Movie Day was May 10th and May 24th. Historical Preservation Month was in May, and they did a docu-series, Café con Leche, featuring several senior citizens. H.D. Haley Senior Citizens Visit. The senior citizens visited H.D. Haley. Total Rio Vista visitors participants were 2,561. Total Chayo Apodaca usage was 359 visitors. Our IT department filmed aerials for flood zones to provide footage on grant opportunities, assisted in the programming and training of Bulldog Splash Park computer system, attended several trainings with Cisco and Aero Wireless, continued talks with Fusion on the implementation phase, and troubleshooted all IT-related issues. Our grants department, currently the grants department assists city with administration of 7 grants across Public Works, Police, and Recreation Center, totaling $201,000. For the month of May, grants department has logged a total of 154 hours of service. There was an 84,665 growth from April to May due to the awarding of the 5310 grant of a 8-passenger bus for the Recreations Department. And that concludes my report. I don't know if you all have any questions?
Ms. Villalobos?
I just sorry to see Mr. Rosas go.
Correct. He accepted a job at Jordan Foster. They offered him a lot more money.
Well, we're a good training ground, though.
We are. That we are. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to consent agenda, do we have a motion?
Motion to approve consent agenda.
Second. Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Item number 11, introduction, first reading, and calling for a public hearing of an ordinance of the City of Socorro, Texas, creating social host underage drinking accountability related to underage consumption of alcohol and creating a civil offense and penalties for violation.
So, go ahead and make a motion to call for the introduction, first reading, for the introduction, first reading of a public hearing regarding the ordinance for the City of Socorro, creating social list. Okay,
I'm allergic to you.
okay, well, let me do it one more time. Go ahead and make a motion to call for the introduction, first reading for a public hearing on ordinance to, regarding creating social host underage drinking accountability related to underage consumption of alcohol.
Second.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Just real quick, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a couple of misspelled words on the, just so you guys can correct it. It's no big deal, but so it could be corrected. Second, it's the second page. 1, 2, back. The back page of the second page. And I do my homework. B, fixed or fix. B, and then C, I think it didn't, I don't think it means PF, I think it meant OF. Oh. C. Okay. And I think those are the only misspelled words that I saw. Thank you. And yes.
Item number 12, introduction, first reading, and calling for a public hearing of an ordinance for the proposed amendment to the City of Socorro to the master plan and rezoning of tract 10-1, block 3, Socorro Grant, 10974 East Bird Road from R1, single-family residential to R2, medium-density residential for the purpose of developing a multifamily development on the subject property.
If I may, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion for the introduction, first reading, and calling for a public hearing on the ordinance for a proposed amendment to the City of Socorro Master Plan and rezoning of tract 10-1 or -I, block 3, Socorro Grants.
May
Second.
I?
Second.
Ms. Villalobos?
So the residents were here for this item, a couple of them, and they had to leave because it was too late. They're not happy with it. I'm just letting you know, they're not very happy with it. 15 units in 1 acre, in a small road. I know that we have, planning and zoning denied it, but our planning and zoning recommends approval. I'm not sure. The residents don't want this, just so you know that. We do not want 15 units in 1 acre. There's 3 point something acres.
Good night, Mayor and Council. Ms. Villalobos is correct. When we presented this case, this is a property that's located on Burt Road. The Planning and Zoning Department recommended approval because the reason is because all the properties along Burt Road are already classified R2. By approving this classification over here, you would just be extending the R2 zone. We couldn't find a reason to recommend denial. However, when we had the public hearing with the Planning and Zoning Commission, several neighbors were against the project because the owner at the time presented, or they mentioned that they were gonna build apartments. And the neighbors were concerned that they were gonna be creating a lot of traffic. Then later, the applicant came in. The case was tabled a couple of times to allow the applicant to come in and show what plans he had for the property. When they came in, they had a change of plans. They said they weren't gonna build the apartments anymore, but they were thinking about creating a small subdivision just like the one that you see up here with a little cul-de-sac and multi-family residences. When the last time that we spoke with the applicant, they couldn't make up their mind what they were gonna build or what they're gonna do with the property. At the moment when we presented the case, they were just asking for a zoning change. However, residents were still worried that once they approve the R2, they will be allowed to build apartments, and that's what they don't want. For that reason, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended to deny the case. Any questions?
But your recommendation is to approve?
Yes,
And the
because we were just presenting the zoning change, not the subdivision. One other concern that they had is they mentioned that every time they wanna exit Burt Road, they take about 10 minutes just to get out of the street. So what they were saying, if there's more traffic, it's gonna make it even worse for them. That was their main concern, the traffic. We couldn't use that as a reason for denying it because we don't have a traffic impact analysis. We're just recommending approval of the zoning change. However, we haven't seen a subdivision plat.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Okay. Just to put it in perspective, our commissioner said no. The city says yes, our staff. But we don't know what he's going to do. So just make the assumption that he's gonna build those apartments. It is gonna create a lot of an impact on that road, correct?
Correct.
So if he was to do that, would your opinion as our staff, would you change it to no? If he was gonna put 15 apartments? Or would you still stick to?
It's not 15.
What I would recommend, if
per
that
acre.
was the case, if he wants to move forward with the apartments, I would recommend that you put a limit on the amount of apartments, that the same way we did it with those other ones on Nevadas. Restrict, approve it with a condition that they don't put more than X apartments.
What would be, in your recommendation, what would be an adequate amount of apartments? 5, 6?
With all due I'm sorry.
No.
So we're
Just-
saying 15 per acre, right?
That's what the law permits under
Yeah.
R2,
15
15 per acre.
No, I know
Something
that.
acres.
I know that, but what I'm asking
We
is
could put a limit of 10.
10 per acre.
10 per acre?
It's a 3-acre lot. However, you also need to, just because it's 3 acres doesn't mean they're gonna put 10 apartments. They also need to do a calculation of the ponding area and the parking
Yes.
spaces,
So it makes it shorter.
which
yeah,
is
but it's 3
gonna
point
reduce
something.
the amount of
Look, all
apartments.
all,
3.44.
Mayor,
Mr. Rodriguez?
all I'm saying is, if you guys don't feel comfortable, we don't have to change the zoning, okay? And that'll be the end of it.
It's just a public hearing, though.
So, yes, I know, but I'm just saying that when we're ready for it, we don't have to change it. If you guys don't feel comfortable. If you guys feel comfortable, then we could put a limit, and still he has to meet those requirements, because we can put that stipulation in it. If we don't feel that 15 per acre is the right thing to do, and I would agree with 6 or 7 per acre, that's just my opinion. But if you guys don't feel, or you guys don't wanna put any, then we could just deny the zoning change. That's all I'm saying.
Mr. Duran?
This is just to change the zoning. And this is only a public hearing. We're not approving any subdivision, we're not approving any apartments.
Just a
We're
hearing.
just approving a hearing to change the zoning to what everybody else has around him.
Correct.
And then at the time that he does bring a plat, that's when we can either
You can make
deny
a decision,
or
yes.
approve.
Correct.
So, but I mean, in all fairness, if everything around there is R2, I don't think we have the right to deny him that same kind of, and this is only a public hearing. So I think if we deny him the right to his public hearing, I think that would be wrong, number one, because like you said, everybody around is R2. So at that point, when the public hearing, then we can air out all these other concerns that we have.
And also,
Mr.
to your
Perez?
point, yes, ma'am, thank you. That's the opportunity for the neighbors to come and articulate articulate why they don't want that development there.
Do we have a motion?
Ms. Villalobos?
So, the name Fernando Santana, he sounds familiar. Has he been here before with other properties?
I don't recall.
No? Okay. Alrighty, I just,
We had a motion, do we have a second? Mr. Rodriguez?
Yeah, I second.
Oh, okay.
Jim, this is a two-part question. One, I didn't say that we're not gonna give him and allow him the hearing. I said, when it comes to it, we could choose not to approve it. But Jim, if we approve the zone change, and he meets all of the requirements, and that is a 15, right? We already approved the zoning, so he has every right to come and present, and if he meets all the requirements,
Yeah, if he meets all the other requirements, yes, then I mean, there are some things that are discretionary.
do we have some discretionary thing to say, hey, we don't want 15?
Well, not if he meets the other requirements, but for example,
that's
You
you
see-
have to have a ponding area that'll reduce the number,
Okay, of course,
or provide for some kind of.
but remember, he's got what, 3 point what?
3 acres.
3 acres.
3.44.
So, it comes to my point. That's what I'm trying to make you guys understand. Yes, we wanna put stipulations, but when you already give him the zoning, and he meets the requirements, we're liable if we don't let him, because he met all the requirements. Correct, Jim?
If he meets all the requirements.
Okay, that's an inverse domain. Therefore, we hold and have to, fork out some dough. So, once again, when it comes to it and you guys don't feel comfortable, then we take the action of whatever you guys feel comfortable with. That's all I'm saying. Thank you.
Mr. Perez?
I guess the idea is that pending the outcome of the input from the public hearing, we can decide whether or not to continue with the rezoning.
Correct.
Okay.
Perfectly put.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
I'm sorry, what is the question?
No, we approve the
The hearing.
The hearing.
to the hearing.
To the hearing? Okay, yes, okay.
Item number 13, discussion and action on approving the unaudited financial reports for April 2018.
Make a motion to approve?
Second.
Good job, Charlie. Aye?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Item number 14, discussion and action to adopt Resolution 546. TxDOT has determined that speed reduction is necessary on I-10 from 75 miles per hour to 70 miles per hour for the duration of a proposed construction between 2.5 miles east of Horizon to FM 1110.
Motion to approve the speed reduction.
Second?
And this is temporary.
We're gonna recommend to postpone this item? No?
Okay.
We could have actually, I think the more efficient way is, just offer this explanation, I recommend just approving it. There's two ways you can do a speed reduction. One is a resolution approving something TxDOT already did administratively. The other is you do your own ordinance. It wasn't clear from TxDOT's request which one they were asking for.
Okay.
So my belief is they already did it internally and they're asking for our approval.
Mm-hmm.
So my recommendation is just approve the resolution, just adopt the resolution. If we're wrong and they weren't actually inarticulately asking for an ordinance, we'll bring it back and make it more.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and amend my motion to approve the speed reduction already initiated by TxDOT internally. Right?
Yes. Second? For the second time. Aye.
Ms. Villalobos?
I'm sorry. This is not temporary, right?
Yeah.
It's temporary because they're gonna do some construction work along the exits on the Clint exit
It's just for the duration of the proposal.
for
the
the
project.
duration of the construction, yes.
Now I remember reading. Okay, thank you. Yes. Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Do we have a motion to delete items 23, 24, and 25?
Motion to delete 23, 24, and 25.
Second?
To include 28.
Are we gonna postpone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So then, all right. Motion to delete items 23, 24, and 25.
Second? The second time?
Okay, let him finish.
Aye?
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Item number 26, discussion and action regarding, Item 27, discussion and action regarding unauthorized dumping on or near Gateway East Boulevard.
Motion to direct staff to proceed as discussed
What?
to proceed with, well, yes, assistance, please.
I would request authority or an instruction from the council to authorize the city attorney to initiate a lawsuit against the owners and occupiers of the identified land to seek injunctive relief to prohibit the operation of the landfill.
Motion as stated by
Second.
Mr. Martinez.
Second.
It's late.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Item number 28, discussion and action regarding application of Texas Gas Service, a division of One Gas, Inc., to reduce rates in connection with a decrease in its federal income tax liability.
Motion to postpone for the next meeting.
Second? Aye?
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Second.
Aye.
Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes.
10:40, meeting adjourned.
Good night.